Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome. I am Katrina Sturgill, and I'm here with Brenda Vasbinder. And we are going to share with you tonight about how to launch those new folks into your business, whether they're interested in being a sharer or a builder. So that's what we're going to cover tonight. We've got some fun pictures and things to follow along with. Brenda, you want to introduce or say or just get started?
I say let's get started. We'll kind of share some, like Trina said, some of our fun stuff, and you get to watch us through this.
I guess we could share a little bit about how we got.
Oh, so okay. So for those of us that don't know, Katrina and I, we won't tell you how many years ago yet, but we were best friends in high school and went to college, did all the married life and had kids and all that fun stuff and lost touch with each other. But the coolest thing out of all of this experience has been that doTERRA, of all things, brought us back together. When Trina was doing a Facebook Live challenge, like many of us have experienced lately, and she shared that drinking lemon in her oil is one of her favorite ways to do that. And my husband happened to watch it, of all people. Yep. And so my husband says, you need to find out how to get in touch with her because I want that lemon. And that began the start of this whole new experience where now we are joint business partners in this venture, working on our joint goals of retiring us and our husbands and all that fun stuff through doTERRA. So hopefully you'll enjoy this relationship with us and you get to enjoy the fun that it's brought back. So that's our backstory of how we got reconnected.
A little bit about us. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start the screen share and then Brenda's going to get us going. There we go. All right, take it away.
All right. So this is all like Trina shared. This is our training exercise, our training awareness tonight to talk about what does it look like. So when you continue to do your enrollments and you get that first person or another person who says, yeah, I think I might want to. And we all have that moment, kind of like these two boys are showing us here, where suddenly somebody steps up to the dock with you and they're ready to jump. And you're like, now what do I do? So this is all about how do we launch a person. Want to take it away on this one, Trina?
Oh, yes. So first things first.
Okay, so first things first. So the first thing you got to do in this one is you actually really need to think about yourself as a leader. It's all about getting yourself ready as a leader, being aware. In order for someone to follow you, they actually are going to get attracted to you as that leader, and that's part of that first things first step that has to happen. So it's really important as a leader that you know what is your dream, what's your vision and your mission of building your business, in this case with doTERRA. What are your dreams? What do you want to see accomplished with this? Trina and I shared a little bit about that our dream is to be able to jointly retire our spouses, to be able to provide supplemental income and some of those things. So we have this joint dream and vision that we're partnered together and asking people like Bev who are joining this with us to partner with us. So that's really key. If you don't know where you want to go as a leader, it's hard for people to follow when the leader doesn't know where they want to go.
Very true.
So then the other thing behind that is building that dream team, which is what we talked about. So Bev is part of our dream team here. And I know, and we love Bev. Yeah. So we have an awesome dream team in our situation. I know many of you that are watching this probably have other people that when we say dream team, you can think of your other business partners on your own teams that are also part of your dream team. But in order for them to be part of that dream team, it's pausing long enough to think about what kind of relationship did you want when you were searching for that person? What kind of need do you have in your team? The fact is we all have different strengths. Many of us in doTERRA have done strength finders, and in our case, Trina and I are actually polar opposites in our strength finders. And those can make a really powerful duo when you bring those strengths there. So being courageous enough and have the strength to say, I need somebody that's not what I am. That's really a key point in leadership. Trina, do you want to go?
It's huge in understanding what you're good at and what you're not good at and letting other people help with that. So, absolutely agree with that.
I think also the other thing that we talked about was Looking at, I mean, the reality is we get to join people with this and being able to answer the question, is this the person who I can support as a leader, so that I can also recognize what are they looking for as the person who's asking to join your team, and can you provide the support that they need to do. I love this saying that we were talking when we were preparing for this. It's, we get to pick the kind of people who join this business with us, which is part of the beauty of doTERRA. Sometimes in other jobs we don't get that luxury, but in doTERRA we do. So I think that's really key as being a leader.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. What happens next?
So and then they say yes.
Woohoo!
Panic attack.
Yay! They said yes. What do we do now?
And we go get our balance. And we smother ourselves in balance so we can get stable.
Oh, okay, here's this guide, and here's that guide, and here's this, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to set up this, and then you're going to find your 100 names, and yeah. What do we do, Brenda?
So we recommend keep it simple. There's a reason that everybody knows that saying. As soon as we say it, you probably all heard KISS in your mind when I said that. So it's really true here. Keep it simple. So first things first, this is what I love. Trina did this for me when I first did it, because I had that panic a moment when she said, do you want to do this? And I went, sure. I had no idea what I was jumping into, but there I went. So the first thing you do is you schedule a class, because when they all said yes, they were all thinking, probably Bev, you were too, of somebody that I wanted to talk to about the oils. So you get a class, and Trina came down and she said, I'll teach the class for you. And what do you know? We filled a room in our place. And I know, Bev, we shared one for you for a class there. And you get them going, and you just kind of show, what does it look like to host a class? And if it goes well, yay, everybody's really excited. And then you have a different conversation. But be aware that if it doesn't go like you expected, it's okay. I know we've shared of others that I was trying to launch somebody else on my team as well, and it didn't go quite so well. Many of us have experienced that, planned a class, and guess what? You get to share more oils and some awesome yummy snacks, but there's nobody else to share them with. So it's okay to see that and to make that be comfortable and go, you know what? We learned something, but let's schedule another class and let's continue to try again. So don't give up just because the first one doesn't go like you expect.
Right. So schedule a class. If it goes well, awesome. If it doesn't go quite well, then schedule another class until you do have those successes. And I think the point behind that is giving those new people that experience to see what happens in that class, or, you know, it could be a one-to-one as well, you know, whatever their comfort level is at, but being there to support them through those first couple of encounters so that they can see the process. And then once they've seen that process be successful, then we go into the next step. And what is that?
So the next step that we want to talk about after that is, let's talk about goals. So in talking about, oh, are we on the, there we go.
All
so
right.
I'm
catching up.
I know, it's all good. And you just tell me, I feel like I'm talking lots. This is about, when you start talking about the next step, it's about building that relationship. It's continuing to foster that relationship. I love this. One of my recent customers, people that I met with, said to me, the only reason that they're doing the oils is because of that trust in the relationship. So knowing that trust in your relationship is a key factor in anybody who wants to even enroll, let alone it's even more of a factor for people who want to join your tribe. If they trust you and they have that relationship, and if they don't have it like Trina and I did, but can build it with you and give the time to build that, then your tribe will succeed as a joint effort faster and longer.
And I know we've all heard people say doTERRA is a relationship business. And if you doubt that at all or don't quite understand that, then I would encourage you to spend some time talking to people or becoming more comfortable with that and what that looks like for you. Because we can't create relationships like any other person, because we're unique and individual, so it's going to look the way it's going to be for you. But it really is all about those relationships, and relationships develop at different paces too. So again, we can't have a hard and fast, this is how you do it with every single person. There has to be some fluidity there and flexibility to meet them where they're at and work with them in the pace in which they're wanting to work. And so I know that any of us that have done this for any length of time have seen that to be true, and it's okay. Okay. No.
I love to, I'm missing her name last night, the presidential diamond who shared last night. She said, it was what?
I'm trying to remember her name too.
And then blanking it, which is not Dana. I'm looking at my notes.
Yes.
I think Dana. But so what I loved is there was a image that she showed, and part of it actually came right out of some of our own doTERRA materials that we've received recently. But I love this saying that she said that was about that. doTERRA is a relationship business, like Trina said. Anchor your attitude in the belief that caring is the most important you give everyone you connect with. Whether it's an existing relationship or someone new, build trust into every interaction. Seek to change lives by sharing what you love, no matter where you are and who you're with. And I thought that resonated so loud when she shared that last night in our Summer Success Challenge weekly training. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, so I just looked it up. Last name is Salmons.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, she's on her husband's Facebook page. I'm so sorry. I feel horrible.
I'll look it up in a second while you keep going.
Who is it?
Wasn't the first name Carrie?
Yes. Thanks, Bev. You got it.
Gary. Thank you, Bev. See, that's why we're a team.
Gary and Gary Sim.
Gary and Gary. There we go. Yeah, she has great things to share. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Thanks,
awesome. So in this category, we were talking about this last night and kind of relating the development of relationships to other areas of our life. And for me, it really resonated for me to kind of put this into the same mindset for myself as my business before I started doing doTERRA, which was being a birth doula. So I really do look at my relationships with people that I'm meeting as that relationship from parent to child. Just because there's so much growth that happens. You know, we all start off with our experiences with essential oils, or with doTERRA at least, as infants or young children. And then over time that grows and develops. And some grow faster than others, but that's one way that I like to look at it as far as developing those relationships with the people I meet, knowing that I want to work with them at their pace. And then when you do get those people that are wanting to get going, and so we're talking about getting them ready to launch, right? So one key factor is it's important to know what kind of decision maker are you working with. And there are 4 different types that we learned in a training that we took a few months back. And they are shotgun, pathfinder, collector, and there it is,
Builder.
builder. So you want to share a little bit about what those are?
I'm flipping through my notes so I can describe them again.
Okay, so I'll do the first 2. You can take over the next one. So shotgun is those folks that are just like, as soon as they learn about it, they are fired up, they're ready, they're like, yep, that's all I need to know, let's do this, I'm ready to go. So you got to be ready to get them going. You know, so those would be the people that you could go, woohoo, I got a builder, you know, great, here you go, these are all the things you need, go, fire, you know, take off, and they will be able to do that. You know, that's what they love. If you wait too long and try to drag it out, they're going to lose interest, they're going to go find somebody else to help them. Then you have your pathfinder, who is more of the step-by-step planner. Show me exactly what I need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm good. I can take off and go with that. But they need that system already in place. And I have learned from my own frustrations in building my business that that's who I am. I am a pathfinder because I will find myself sitting here going, if I just had a definite system that I could follow, A, B, C, D, I could kill it all day long. But I get caught up in the fact that I don't know if I have the right system or the right steps in which to follow everything. So there's a little personal share there. What about the other two?
The other one is a collector. The collector is the person who wants proof. So they really want to hear about other people who've succeeded in this and hear those success stories. And they really need to understand and learn if this is practical. They're going to question, is this practical? Is it realistic? And they're probably, in my mind, going to be the one who's going to need a little bit more experience with the oils themselves. Not only, when we're thinking about launching a share and a builder, they kind of have two things. They need to get the practical, realistic understanding of the oils, but they need to understand that the business can succeed as well. So it's acknowledging that when you're talking about a share and launcher, it's needing both. It's not just one or the other.
Good.
They're going to be key on the resources and materials and books as well as too, as what we had for the notes. So they are going to be the person that if you give them those books that we all talk about now, and we, Desiree's books for emotional support and the Modern Essentials or the app and all those things, they're going to be thrived really well or connected to some of those resources. So, and we talk a little bit more about that in a few more slides. But
excellent. Very cool.
The last one is a builder. So the builder is the person who's going to focus on quality. Customer service is a huge deal to this type of person. This was eye-opening to me, I think. I've struggled. I was telling Katrina when we were preparing for this, I can't figure out who I was in some of this until I read this one sentence last night. So this says, customer's complaint will actually wreck them. And the light bulb went off for me. I think that was a pretty key thing, that some of the stuff that we're doing, Summit Success, was about learning to break through some of your limiting beliefs. And Trina knows I've shared some of this. This is one of those for me that is really a limiting belief for me. So knowing that they're a builder is a key thing about how do you help them work through that so that they can. It also describes that they're the type of people who want to use the product for a while, which I did. Trina knows. I waited about 4 or 5 months before I launched. They need an experience before they can move forward to even start their own business. So give them the space to be okay with that and have their own oil stories. Then they'll be your best advocate. Not that they all will, but
it's true. It may take them a little longer, but then once they're hooked, they're in. They're solid. All right. If you guys have any questions as we're going along, feel free to type them in the chat and we'll try to look at those at the end here. All right, so we're going to move on. Next topic here. If I can find the cursor. There we go. Oh, wrong direction. All right, so the next one we're going to be talking about is their goals. So big journeys begin with small steps. Okay, so I think unless you're a shotgun, and I don't know, I think shotguns have to take the same steps. They just might take them a little bit faster. So this is where you start talking about setting those goals. And it's not about your goals, okay? It's not about our goals. It's about theirs. And when they're first starting off, they may not even really understand or know what they want those goals to be. So there needs to be some conversations around that and continuing education on what doTERRA has to offer, and then just exactly how quickly they want to go there. And those goals will change over time too. I know that mine certainly have. So just helping them to start off with what feels comfortable. Perhaps they just want to make $300 by sharing oils with people. But then along the line, that may change to, oh, heck no, I'm going to be Blue Diamond. But if you've got a shotgun that comes in and goes, how do I be Blue Diamond by next year? Well, then you got to be ready to help them too. Right? Let's break it down. And then what is their level of commitment? So this is where you're getting into those critical conversations. And you want to kind of have a bit of an interview process of, okay, so let's I'm serious about this. I'm taking that you're serious about it as well. So let's sit down and have a conversation. And there are some lists of questions. If you are part of Paul and Delmar's team, they had a Northwest training, and we got access to some really great resources there. And there in that is a list of questions that you can sit down and have that conversation with people that are coming on board with you. And if you want to know what those questions are, let us know. We're happy to share that. So that's where you're also going to be asking them about, what is it they want to achieve? So I already mentioned that a little bit. Are they interested in empowering others by sharing the oils? Do they want to take it a step further and earn rewards for sharing? Or perhaps they want to create that income while they're sharing. So that's kind of those three different levels of commitment. Let's see what else.
I love too, if I can share, Trina. So last night in Carrie's discussion, she was talking about some of the materials that we have, and this is one that was in the doTERRA share guide, and what Trina was just talking about. So knowing that you don't have to have all these at your fingertip if you're not the person that needs that. What Trina's describing is actually page 2, and it's kind of hard, but just know if you have this share guide, it's right in the middle of that, and it's kind of like a series of questions that you can ask when you're meeting or launching with that new sharer, or that person that says yes, and you're trying to decipher, are they share, are they builder, are they kind of in the, where are they at today? But I love the fact that it kind of does those 3 different things and check a box. By them answering which box to check, it helps you decide, guide them to the right path for them today. And like Trina said, well, they can change their mind. They may be someone who starts out with, I just want to empower others and maybe get some of my oils paid for. And then they get hooked, and then they're going to shift to what that goal is long term. But this is a really good resource if you have this as well.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Awesome. Is there anything else there that you want to share about goals or anything?
I don't think so. I have a story, but I think it might fit next on the next slide. So.
Okay. Moving on. All right. So now we're going to be talking about level of commitment. So helping them set the goals, and then the level of commitment. So dreaming big, setting goals, taking action. And I think, I don't know, I'm feeling like we kind of covered, I jumped ahead. I covered some of that critical conversation stuff. So goals and commitment, they kind of blend together, but as long as you're covering it, along the way. And this is a good time to talk about kind of the long-term, short-term compensation stuff too. So there are ways that you can help them get focused through those guides that are available, or you can help develop a 30-day, 60-day, or 90-day plan for them to really get focused in on the steps. And that's the kind of stuff I just love. If I had somebody tell me, okay, so for your first 30 days, this is what you're going to do. And then your 6 and 8, I was like, okay, awesome, because I love to check my check marks. So yeah, that's cool.
I think too, when we talked about this, we were relating this to kind of, we've shared how the relationship happened for Trina and I. So we both came in here with different goals. And I shared with Trina when I started, the first thing when I said yes was, okay, I got 9 years until I retire. So I would love to build this business. But I had a much longer vision and dream of how fast I wanted to do it. But Trina made it comfortable as my leader to make the pace acceptable to do that, even though it might be that you might want it faster or not, but it didn't matter in that case. Like Trina shared, she was comfortable to let it be my goal and not hers at that moment. And we met in the middle, which is awesome. It's changed over time. So now I start to get the excitement going, and then you kind of escalate the time. What I thought was interesting too, though, is then I started to get a couple people when we were doing some of the early classes Trina talked about. And I had one person in particular who said yes right away. And then we started to put this person through some of these things, like she talked about scheduling classes, one-on-ones, and it wasn't the right fit. This person was very much an active, and still is to this day, an active team member. Not here today, actually not able to attend, but awesome attending and very actively involved with the team, but wasn't at the point where this person was comfortable to start with her own goal of what that meant to commit. The commitment at that time was about being a team player, and that was okay. And because it was okay, within the last month, that commitment changed, and now this person's on fire, enrolling faster than she has in the last year, and pretty excited. So again, it's asking, what is the commitment for that person? I can say honestly, I tried to push that person to try and commit sooner, and now I see the benefit of stepping back and letting them commit when they were ready. So, and then I had another one I want to share with you. That was another person who said yes right away, said they wanted to. We started to schedule the class, and then the feedback I got was, this is kind of fun. Could you just host all the classes for me, and I'll just take the percentages? And we went, so you like the short-term compensation, but not the long-term. Not quite our vision.
What kind of a decision maker is that?
I don't know that answer yet. But what I loved that when Trina and I were talking about this with commitment, it's knowing that we probably all have names when we describe these that you've all experienced on your own teams, but making it okay. They're not right or wrong in either situation, but it allows you as the leader to be able to adjust and help that person meet them where they need to be.
Exactly. And I mean, and that's the thing, is that things will change. You know, as they start to understand it more, they may get more involved, or they may get less involved. But it's a journey, you know, and we just get really very thrilled and happy when we find the folks that are meant to be on our team with us. And if they're not meant to be leaders with us, we still take care of them as customers. So there's a place for everyone.
And I would say they're even team members in different ways in this situation.
Exactly.
These are people that are still active with me to this day. And it's just part of that evolution of what support they need. So it's not a bad thing at all.
Exactly.
I wouldn't trade what I've learned with any of it.
Right. And it just makes us the people we are supposed to be, I guess, right? Challenges, and you either learn from it, or what else are you going to do? All right, I digress. Let's move on. All right, so here we are. It is time to launch. So you've had that, you've invited them to do a class or two. Now you've shared with them some of the materials available. You've had the conversations to help them decide, what kind of interest and level they want to be at. And then, so now you've got kind of the groundwork laid, and now it's time to step on that gas and get going, right? Let's see what's down the road. So this is where there are resources, and there's lots of different resources. We are very fortunate that doTERRA has this year come out with free guides that are extremely helpful. But it's taking a little bit of time to transition into those for folks who have been doing this for a while, because they weren't always available, right? And so there are lots of other options out there, and you may have found one that you really like and that resonates with you, or perhaps you're searching for one. So there's lots of things, and we'll touch on some of those that are available that we've experienced and tried out and found to be helpful. But this is really at the point where you're going to be looking for that roadmap. You want to find a roadmap, and we're all different, so we're all going to be kind of working on that roadmap a little bit differently, but we are going in the same direction. So this is for your process, your system. You're going to walk those new sharers, those new builders through that. So it's pretty much the framework. So it's the framework to help you create a system that works for them, giving them steps, or giving them that end result that they're looking for. And you want to make sure that it's based on their strengths too. So as you're getting to know that person, you're building that relationship, you can start to identify what really gets them excited, what part of it they enjoy doing, and maybe the parts that are not so fun for them. Then that's where you work together as a team and support each other. But just some of the things in the roadmap to success would be, that's when you start focusing on that list of 100. plugging into your leadership teams so that they can be supported by the rest of the folks that are also working doTERRA, helping them to understand the steps and the very basics of earning the money from the beginning, all the different levels in which are available for pay, and then getting into a habit of scheduling classes and one-to-ones on a regular basis based on how quickly they want to grow their business, right? So if somebody's an occasional share, perhaps they're doing one class a month, but if it's somebody that wants to reach those ranks quicker and faster, then it's going to be more like one class a week or a couple classes. It really depends on what's going to work best for them. Right. Anything else on that?
Great job.
All right. Now, here we go. Leveraging our resources. You want to share with that?
Yeah, sure. This is where we've talked through the entire time tonight about, we believe there's so many resources, and the beauty of this business is, as a leader, we get to find out what some of those are and just kind of have them, like this picture shows, in your toolbox, knowing that one builder or share may need a different set of tools than somebody else. So here's some of the tools that we've found that we'll share with you guys, but just know it's not all of them. There's more that are out there, but these are the most common ones that we've found that have worked well for us personally and some of our team members. We think of, like someone I was just saying, so these doTERRA just recently revealed these within the last year, I'm pretty sure. I know we were at a wellness summit and they shared these. So you've got the share, live, build guides. So these share and build guides are going to be really valuable when you're starting to launch a new share and builder. And the beauty of these resources is it's really just open the book and talk through them. Read them with the person with you. And it's going to walk you through this. You can see, like, I've highlighted mine all over the place. So there's just the things that I learned out of it, and they're going to learn the same thing while you learn with them, truly, if it's your first one, particularly if you're launching. The other thing that we get to do is there's resources as well. And for the name of these are our Empowered Success doTERRA guides. So some of us have been in the business a bit longer. They were called with like Empowered Success, and very similar, but doTERRA's built these now for us. So they're beautiful and very reasonably in the price. I will say that too. I'm excited to see that, having seen them. The other thing that you get to build, we get to leverage, is some of the Blue Diamond and Presidential Diamond leaders. They have, many of them, created training systems. Again, giving the ability for something that works for me might not be the same that works for Trina, and or vice versa for Bev or any of you that are watching with us. Finding those. So some of them, one of them is from Dana Moore. She was one of our Presidential or Blue Diamond, I get mixed those up, but she's one of the diamonds. And she has a system called Roadmap to Success. And you got to learn a little bit about that. And then there's also Eddie and Angela Villa, for example. There's another one called Skill Up Buttercup. Just lots of systems out there where they've all developed within their own teams that they often share with us, and can find that niche that helps your new launcher or share. There's a lot of things, like Trina tipped out a little bit. There's team and there's cross-line training. So like we did, some of the training materials that we now have, luckily for some of our cross-line leaders, developed systems that worked really well for them, and they opened up the door and said, hey, is somebody else open to this? I'm one, I can say, that launched into that. It was one that Lorena, thanks Lorena, that she launched one of hers. And I'm telling you, that one clicked for me like nothing else in my life. And I was launching people faster than I had ever. So it's just taking the time to find those resources, reach out to your other co-leaders on your tribe, and cross-line and go, hey, what else is out there that you might be able to find the right thing for your new share and builder? There's also things like YouTube, Facebook, all those social media options. There are a lot of other. I remember when I started, I'm a night owl, so I was the one who was up until 2 o'clock in the morning reading everything that somebody had posted. You just search YouTube with other doTERRA wellness advocates who've been doing this a little bit longer, and they'll tell you, this worked for me and this didn't work for me. And you start to get this, oh, well, I could do that, or I don't like that, I'm going to try something else.
Yep.
Great resource. And then I love, yesterday Carrie shared, and I didn't grab a copy of them with me, but the Living and Leadership magazines are awesome resources. So once you've enrolled, I think you get them on a quarterly basis. And like she said, they're also in the class in the box. Really reasonable price because you get 10 bottles of the Wild Orange with it, with those magazines. Great resource. So you can share those. It's a great way to get people up to speed with what's going on with them. And they often cover different things about the oils. So if they're one of the pathfinders or collectors that want the proof, these are great resources for that. And then the leadership is the person. If they're the one who needs that vision, I love how the people who've reached these amazing ranks through doTERRA share what did it look like. They're open, they're honest, and they're real, and they can relate to us who are trying to dream that same dream and what it looks like when we get to that goal. Not if in my mind, but when. So they're great resources as well, and those are available to all of us.
Absolutely, 100%. Very cool. Awesome. All right. So the next step here then is support. So ongoing support to your leaders that are growing and expanding and finding their way. The key is duplication, right? So we're all about finding those easy to follow steps that are easy to duplicate so that when they say, see you do it, they're like, oh, hey, yeah, I could do that. I can show somebody, I can invite someone to a class or invite them to invite people, and then I'll teach the class for them. And then I'll share these materials that I found and help them find what they like. And then, so that we're just duplicating, and you just
rinse and repeat.
Yep, rinse and repeat. Very good.
That's
So
awesome.
it boils down to three things for me. That's educating, caring for people, and helping them grow in whatever they choose. So the educating in the oils, educating on the business, caring for them, building that relationship, and then helping them grow, whatever capacity that is for them. Giving them all the options, helping them decide what's going to work best for them. Anything else? All right, short and sweet. I keep scrolling the wrong way. I need some application on how to handle a PowerPoint.
There's an oil for focus, Trina. Did you know that?
I think I need to put an arrow on my scroller so I know which
way to go.
Scroll down, swipe right.
Yeah.
I don't understand all that stuff. All right, so last but absolutely not least, be yourself, right? Be real, be authentic. Stay focused on what brings both of you joy when you're working with new sharers and builders. That was a perfect time for a deep sigh. I love that.
I think it's important too, we talked about too, when you're being real, to make it okay that we don't add too much we bog ourselves down sometimes with things that can be energy draining. We call them energy sapping activities. So, those may not be the same for other people. And Trina, I've talked about that. We're opposites. There's things I can do that just jazz me, and they're not the same for her. So it's knowing that and building on those things that we talked about, and being aware of those things so that we don't assume that one size fits all.
100%, yes. And does it not ever going to get down or feel sapped or drained? No, but that's not where we want to live, right? We want to find our way to be in the positive, to be honest, to stay true to what we have committed to, and just reflect that for those that are working with us. Let's see what else in the notes here. I recently have been meeting with someone who's been helping me kind of in the business coach realm, kind of help me realize where I want to go with my business now that I've been doing it for a while. And he shared a quote with me. I don't know who originally said it, but I loved it. And so we thought we'd share it. and just kind of let you think on it a little bit. But they told me the leader is the one that sets the tone for your team, right? But it's the team that sets the culture. So just think on that for a little bit. What do you want that tone to be? And what do you want that culture to be? And that's something that you have to create together as a group. What else, my dear? Anything else to share?
You got it.
Any questions, comments, thoughts? All right, so I'll just wrap it up with a funny little share here.
I love this. I think this is awesome.
We've been talking about tips and things to help somebody get started launching new people into doTERRA. We do not expect it to look perfect. There are times where you're gonna look a little wonky. You know, you're ready to launch, but oh wait, maybe something's not quite right. So it's looking a little strange. It's okay. You can always start again, right? Just pick up and let's do that again. But the important thing is to support each other. So give a little support. Remember, whatever you do, they're going to copy. And then try again, and it might actually turn out and look really awesome. Like my two crazy boys back here.
It's
You are
perfect.
going to be the boss of whatever you create.
They got it.
They got it. All right. So anyway, it's a little real life example of launching.
It's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm going to stop the screen share. Bring us all back here. Any questions? Bev, do you have anything?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. And for those of you that are watching on the replay, let us know if you have any questions. We're more than happy to share. And I guess that's it. I don't know what I was going to say.
Put a comment if you have a question that
Yep.
we didn't answer during this, and we'd be happy to answer them even when you watch it through the replay.
Yeah. All right. That's all for us. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.